4. Hi guys, welcome back to TV Spoilers. Today, I'm going to reveal a dramatic secret in Billy's upcoming plot. He'll need Lauren's support to quickly resolve all the issues. Billy no longer sees this war as a series of disjointed revenge attacks, but as a rapidly changing storm preparing to sweep straight at the Chancellor. After what just happened in Genoa City, he understands very clearly that when Victor is pushed out of control, all old boundaries become meaningless. Phyllis's reversal, taking control of Newman while Kane was incapacitated, and the sudden shift in power dynamics in a short period of time, has caused the entire familiar order to collapse. And for Billy, it's not just a business shock, but a warning sign. Once Newman becomes an open battlefield, the Chancellor can't stand idly by much longer. Billy saw Victor's familiar pattern, applying pressure, dividing rivals, suffocating emotional vulnerabilities, and then striking while others were busy trying to put out the fire. What worried Billy most wasn't just that Victor might target the Chancellor, but that Victor would target it in his most bitter, aggressive, and unpredictable state. That feeling made Billy unwilling to delay his reaction any longer. He didn't want to wait until damage had already been done before admitting he'd had a premonition. In Billy's mind, the Chancellor was no longer simply an asset or a victory over others, but a symbol of responsibility, family honor, and something he was trying to preserve in a city increasingly driven by scheming and survival instincts. Recent developments at Y&R showed the situation had truly gone beyond ordinary business competition. Victor threatening Kane to reclaim Newman, Phyllis unexpectedly seizing power, and the Chancellor being drawn into the game as part of a larger power redistribution. In that context, Billy's proposal for an alliance with Lauren didn't stem from impulsiveness or a search for emotional support, but from a cold realization that he couldn't counter a predatory strategy by standing alone. Billy understood that his greatest weakness wasn't a lack of willpower, but rather his tendency to be drawn into direct confrontations with Victor, who always won by simultaneously engaging on multiple fronts. Therefore, when Billy approached Lauren, he brought not just a warning, but a rare kind of acknowledgment. He needed someone level-headed, experienced, and wise enough to help him view this conflict strategically, not just emotionally. In Billy's eyes, Lauren wasn't a pawn to be displayed for show, but a practical anchor, someone who understood the city's power structure, how Victor operated, and the cost of getting too close to personal conflicts. Billy didn't choose Lauren for convenience, but because he believed in her abilities, believing she could help him transform vague anxieties into a well-organized defense plan. More importantly, Billy believed Lauren was strong enough not to be overwhelmed by Victor's shadow, nor easily swept away by the fleeting euphoria of victory. This approach, therefore, took on a very different tone from Billy's previous attempts to find allies. No longer focused on drawing others to his side for immediate gain, this time Billy approached Lauren with a serious, almost austere, demeanor. He spoke of Chancellor as a place teetering on the brink, not because it had been attacked, but because what had just happened to Kane and Phyllis showed that any company with symbolic and strategic value could become the next target. Billy observed Victor's reaction to the loss of Newman and saw not just the anger of a defeated businessman, but the wounded pride of a man who refused to accept the loss of something that defined him. When such a person is pushed to the brink, they not only want to reclaim what they've lost, but they also want to make everyone involved pay the price. Billy understood that the Chancellor could be the target Victor chose to prove that he still held power, still had the ability to crush his rivals, and could rewrite the balance of power in the city to his liking. Therefore, Billy's proposal for an alliance with Lauren was defensive before offensive, to consolidate resources, consolidate information, and build a front strong enough that Victor couldn't attack individual links and break everything. Billy understood all of that, but this time he still chose to move forward. Not because he was sure he would win, but because he had finally realized that standing still was the quickest way to lose. The Chancellor was at a crossroads where one wrong move could turn his legacy into spoils of war. Lauren was facing an invitation where a simple nod could drag her to the center of the city's most intense power struggle. And Victor, though not directly present at this moment, was present in every thought, every plan, every fear, like a shadow cast over the chessboard. And as Billy tightened his grip on his plan, preparing to turn his anxieties into his first counterattack, the biggest question was no longer whether this alliance would form, but who would strike first on a night when everyone thought the other side was still calculating. On our TV Spoilers channel, I always seek content inspiration for each video by compiling short video clips to analyze and offer my personal opinions. This channel specializes in analyzing, theorizing, and discussing plot points in the Young and the Restless series from the perspective of a longtime fan. Through this, viewers can gain deeper, more objectives, and more interesting perspectives. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest news about the Young and the Restless series.